Have you ever stopped to think if there's a deep connection between your faith and your financial life? Could the ancient principles of a book as old as the Bible genuinely help you achieve the financial prosperity you long for, or even get out of debt and build a future of abundance? If you've ever asked yourself these questions, if you feel like something's missing in your planning, or that your current strategies just aren't enough, then this video is for you. Stick with me because what you're about to discover might surprise you, and believe me, it has the power to revolutionize how you see and manage your money. I know for many, talking about the Bible and finances in the same breath might seem odd, almost contradictory. After all, weren't we taught that money is dirty, or that pursuing prosperity is far removed from spirituality? But what if I told you that the Bible is full of practical teachings, inspiring stories, and timeless principles that are true guides for a solid Christian financial education based on faith and a greater purpose? That's exactly what we're going to explore starting today. Imagine with me, you have plans, dreams, you want to provide a better life for your family, maybe get out of renting, invest in a business, or simply have the peace of mind knowing your bills are in order and you have savings for the future. Does that sound like a distant dream? Often, the reality is different. Mounting bills, the feeling that money is never enough, constant worry about tomorrow. Have you ever been through that? That feeling of always chasing, never quite reaching that longed-for stability? The good news is, it doesn't have to be that way. And the key to this change might be exactly where you least expect it. On this channel, our goal is to demystify the idea that finances are a monster, especially when viewed through the lens of faith. We want to show that biblical values aren't just for your spiritual life, but are powerful tools to build an abundant financial life aligned with God's principles. We're not talking about magic formulas or empty promises, but practical wisdom, smart decisions, and a mindset that propels you forward. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and transformative motivational biblical stories, which reveals deep teachings about prosperity and financial obedience. Get ready to meet a man who, even in the face of the most unimaginable adversities, betrayal, slavery, prison, managed to transform his reality and became one of the greatest administrators of all time. His journey is a living testimony of how trust in God, strategic vision, and discipline can completely change the course of a nation, and why not, your own life. This story, which happened thousands of years ago, isn't just a historical account. It holds highly relevant lessons for you if you're looking to get out of the red, organize your personal finances, and build a solid, prosperous financial future. We'll uncover, step by step, how the principles applied by this character can be mirrored in your own journey, transforming your mindset and your actions toward money. And best of all, we'll do it clearly, didactically, and excitedly, so you not only understand but feel inspired to put these teachings into practice. So, if you're ready to unlock the secrets of a prosperous financial life based on biblical principles and want to discover how financial obedience can open doors you never imagined, get ready. Pay attention, because the journey that begins now will take you to a new level of understanding and action. What comes next is the story of a man who turned captivity into an empire of abundance, and his story could be the starting point for your own transformation. Shall we begin? The story we're diving into is that of Joseph, a young man with big dreams who suddenly saw his life turned upside down. Betrayed by his own brothers, he was sold into slavery and later unjustly thrown into prison. Imagine the pain, the loneliness, the uncertainty of a future that seemed hopeless. Have you ever felt that way? Maybe not to the same extent, but in some area of your life, especially with your finances, when it feels like there's no way out. Bills piling up, unemployment knocking at the door, or even the feeling that no matter how hard you work, your money never stretches far enough. It's in these moments that Joseph's story shines even brighter, showing that even at rock bottom, faith and obedience can be the lighthouse guiding you to prosperity. Joseph had nothing going for him. He was a foreigner, a slave, a prisoner. But he had something money couldn't buy and no prison could take away: his integrity and an unwavering connection to God. That's why, even in adverse situations, he stood out. In Potiphar's house, he prospered and managed everything. In prison, he gained the trust of the jailer and became responsible for all the other prisoners. Do you see how, even without control of the circumstances, his character and managerial skills always put him in a prominent position? This isn't a coincidence. It's a principle. And that's exactly what I want you to take into your financial life. The importance of being integrous, disciplined, and confident, regardless of the scenario. The turning point in Joseph's life, and consequently, in the history of an entire nation, came when he interpreted Pharaoh's dreams. 7 years of great abundance, followed by 7 years of severe famine. And here lies one of the greatest lessons of Christian financial education the Bible offers us: the wisdom of foresight. Joseph didn't just decipher the enigma, he presented a bold and brilliant action plan. He proposed that during the years of abundance, Egypt should collect 1/5 of all its produce and store it in cities as a reserve. Do you grasp the depth of this decision? In times of abundance, the natural tendency is to spend, enjoy, maybe even splurge. But Joseph, with his forward vision, was already thinking about the coming crisis. Does this remind you of anything in your own life? How many times do we enjoy the abundance of the moment and forget to build an emergency fund or make investments for the long term? If this first part of Joseph's story has already touched your heart and made you reflect on your own financial journey, I want to invite you to do something very important. If this topic resonates with you, if you believe in the power of faith to transform finances, leave a comment below about what touched you most in this introduction. We want to build a community where we can share experiences and strengthen each other. And of course, for this message to reach more and more people who need this guidance, like this video. Your like is a powerful signal to YouTube that this content is relevant and deserves to be shared. And if you don't want to miss the next chapters of this incredible series, where we'll uncover more financial secrets from the Bible, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Your participation here is what makes this channel grow and reach more people with this transformative content. Shall we embark on this journey of prosperity and financial obedience together? Because Joseph's story is just the beginning of many more lessons that can change the game for you. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because to understand the financial transformation Joseph experienced, we need to go behind the scenes of his own story, unraveling the hidden truth behind every twist and turn. Imagine the scene: a young dreamer wearing a colorful tunic that symbolized his father's special love and dreams that he, naively, openly shared with his brothers. These dreams, which seemed like promises of a bright future, would soon become the cause of his downfall. His brothers, consumed by envy and jealousy, couldn't bear to see God's favor on Joseph's life. And, in a shocking act of cruelty, they threw him into a pit and then sold him into slavery to Ishmaelite merchants. That's the kind of decision that changes everything, isn't it? From his father's house to the darkness of a pit, and from there to slavery in Egypt. It seems like the end of all hope, the final stop on a journey that had barely begun. Joseph's journey mirrors many of us who, at some point in life, feel thrown into situations that seem hopeless. Maybe you felt betrayed by someone you trusted, or perhaps you found yourself in such a tight financial spot that all you could see was darkness. The dream job that turned into a nightmare, the investment that went wrong, the debt that grew uncontrollably. In such moments, the temptation to give up is immense. A victim mentality can set in, and it feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But Joseph's story offers us a powerful revelation. Even in the most adverse circumstances, it's possible to flourish and prosper. Joseph didn't allow himself to be defined by his tragedies. Even as a slave in Potiphar's house, he demonstrated admirable integrity and managerial ability. The Bible tells us that the Lord was with him, and everything Joseph did prospered in his hands. He was so competent that Potiphar put him in charge of his entire household, making him administrator of all his possessions. In other words, even without freedom, Joseph exercised an impressive role of financial and administrative management. He didn't play the victim. He dedicated himself, was faithful, and showed excellence in everything he did. This is a fundamental lesson for our finances. No matter your current situation, your dedication and your pursuit of excellence in what's within your reach can open unimaginable doors. But Joseph's journey wasn't over yet. In an unjust reversal, he was falsely accused and thrown into prison. More than once, the scenario of hope crumbled, from manager of a great house to the bars of a dungeon. It would be natural for anyone to give in to despair. to lose faith. But Joseph, even in prison, maintained his faith and his principles. There he continued to demonstrate his abilities, interpreting the dreams of other prisoners, which would later lead him to Pharaoh. It's an impact that transcends the personal, showing how our decisions and our mentality in the face of adversity can shape not only our destiny, but also the destiny of many others. Joseph's story is a living testimony of how obedience and trust in God can transform captivity into an empire of abundance. It's proof that prosperity isn't just about what you have, but about who you are and how you act, especially when no one is watching. He didn't have an MBA in financial administration, but he had principles that led him to become the chief financial administrator of one of the greatest powers of the time, Egypt. A foreigner, a former prisoner, in charge of a nation's economy. What you're about to discover now about the strategies he implemented is something that can and should be applied to your personal finances today. It's a truth that goes beyond time, a key to your own financial transformation. If Joseph's journey inspires you, comment below. This story moves me. Joseph's wisdom of foresight, which led him to store 1/5 of Egypt's produce during the years of abundance, prepares us for the next chapter of this incredible journey, the crisis management and provision that saved millions. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because what happened next was nothing short of a miracle of financial administration, a testament to the impact that obedience and forward vision can have on a national scale, and by extension, on your personal life. Imagine the scenario. The 7 years of abundance come to an end. An unforgiving drought sets in, and famine, as predicted, begins to plague not only Egypt but all the surrounding lands. Despair spreads. Scarcity becomes the hidden truth of every day. People begin to cry out for food. Crops wither, animals die. It's widespread chaos. But in Egypt, under Joseph's leadership, the story is completely different. Thanks to his preparation, to the huge granaries full of grain, Egypt not only survives, but becomes the granary of the world. People from all nations, driven by hunger, journeyed to Egypt to buy food. Think of the scene. Caravan after caravan arriving, seeking salvation. And among them, in one of the most emotional revelations in the Bible, Joseph's own family, who had betrayed and sold him, also came seeking provision. Joseph's strategy not only ensured Egypt's survival, but also restored family ties and proved the power of grace and forgiveness. His obedience and vision didn't just save possessions. They didn't just bring material prosperity to Egypt, but literally saved lives. It's an impact that transcends any financial metric, showing the power of provision when aligned with divine principles. Here, my friends, Joseph teaches us a crucial lesson about the importance of an emergency fund and diversification. He didn't save money, he saved grain, the essential commodity of the time. He knew that in times of crisis, the value wouldn't be in currency, but in what sustains life. What are your grains today? What are you storing for your hungry days? We're not just talking about money in the bank. We're talking about strategic investments, alternative income streams, skills that can be used in times of need. Joseph's mindset challenges us to think beyond the obvious, to be creative and cautious. Having an emergency fund is like having a safe harbor in a storm. It gives you peace of mind, allows you to make more assertive decisions, and protects you from unpleasant surprises that might arise on your financial journey. How many families fall apart financially because they don't have a granary for times of crisis? Joseph shows us that the discipline of saving when you have, to use when you need, is a fundamental pillar of Christian financial education. He managed scarcity with the same mastery with which he managed abundance, and that's what makes him a role model to follow. His ability to manage resources intelligently, even under pressure, is an inspiration to all of us. He turned crisis into opportunity, and Egypt, from a potential victim, became a refuge. If you believe in the power of preparing for the future, write below, "Ready for the harvest." Joseph's integrity and faithfulness were, without a doubt, the foundation of his rise, the hidden truth behind his incredible prosperity. But how can we translate this entire inspiring journey into our reality today, into your personal finances? Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because Joseph's life isn't just a beautiful biblical story. It's a manual of practical principles that can bring about a true transformation in your financial life. These are revelations that, if applied, have the power to change your future. First, think about Joseph's forward vision. He didn't just interpret a dream. He acted proactively, planning decades in advance. This makes us ask, do you have a financial plan for the next 5, 10, or 20 years? Often we live on autopilot, focused on the next paycheck, the next bill. But Joseph teaches us that true Christian financial education begins with a clear vision for tomorrow, a mindset of planning and acting today to reap the rewards in the future. It's about building a legacy, not just surviving the present. What's your long-term goal? Where do you want to be financially in a few years? Having that clarity is the first step to breaking free from the cycle of immediacy. Second, Joseph's attitude of saving and investing with purpose is a fundamental lesson. He saved 1/5 of the produce during abundance, not out of greed, but to ensure provision in times of scarcity. Just as Joseph stored the grain, what are you storing today? What's the purpose of your savings? Is it for an emergency fund, buying a home, your children's education, retirement? Having a clear purpose for your money is what drives discipline. Without a goal, money tends to slip through your fingers. Joseph shows us that every penny saved and invested has meaning, a direct impact on your security and your ability to handle unforeseen events. Be disciplined, because your financial freedom begins with the small daily decisions to save and invest. This directly leads us to the third point. An emergency fund is crucial. Joseph didn't underestimate the importance of preparing for times of crisis. He literally saved a nation. In your daily life, unexpected things happen. A health issue, job loss, a car breaking down. Without an emergency fund, these situations can turn into real financial disasters, leading to debt and stress. Having 6 to 12 months' worth of essential expenses saved in an easily accessible location can be your grain harvest for times of need, giving you peace of mind and the power to make decisions. It's your financial peace of mind, guaranteed by your obedience in saving. Fourth, integrity always. We saw how Joseph's irreproachable character opened doors and elevated him to positions of trust. In your financial transactions, in your relationship, with debts, with loans, with your work, be integrous. Reputation is a valuable asset that attracts opportunities and blessings. A person known for their honesty and their word is someone to whom doors naturally open. This is a truth that transcends time. Moral rectitude is one of the pillars of true and lasting prosperity. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, trust in providence. Just as Joseph trusted God every step of his journey, surrender your finances into the Creator's hands. He can guide you to make the best decisions, reveal paths you don't see, and multiply the little you have. It's not about having a lot, but about managing what you have with divine wisdom. If you're ready to apply these principles, comment below. Ready for the transformation. Joseph's integrity and faithfulness were, without a doubt, the foundation of his rise, the hidden truth behind his incredible prosperity. But how can we translate this entire inspiring journey into our reality today, into your personal finances? Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because what sustained Joseph through all his phases, from Potiphar's house to prison, and from prison to the palace, wasn't just his cunning, but his unwavering character and his faithfulness to principles he wouldn't compromise. This is a hidden truth for many who seek prosperity only in numbers and graphs, forgetting the fundamental foundation that sustains it. You see, it wasn't just Joseph's intelligence in interpreting dreams or his logistical skills that led him to phenomenal success. The true key to his transformation and the impact he generated was his faithfulness to God and his integrity, which were absolutely non-negotiable. Even when sold into slavery, far from his family and everything he knew, he refused to compromise his values. Think about the temptation in Potiphar's house when his master's wife propositioned him. Joseph could have given in, perhaps seeking favor or a more comfortable position, but he refused. His response was clear. How then could I do this great wickedness and sin against God? This decision revealed a mindset of obedience and reverence for God that went far beyond the circumstances. This conduct, this irreproachable integrity, distinguished him in a way that money could never buy. Even in prison, Joseph didn't give up. He continued to serve, to be diligent, to manifest his gifts and talents. It was as if, in every environment, his light and his excellence shone more brightly, attracting the favor and trust of those around him. It was this trust that made him noticed, that led him to interpret the dreams of the cupbearer and the baker, and finally, to be remembered by Pharaoh. Joseph's prosperity, therefore, was a consequence of his character and of his obedience, not an end in itself. He didn't seek wealth. Wealth, in its fullest form of provision and influence, reached him because of who he was. This is one of the greatest revelations that Joseph's story offers us for Christian financial education. The base of any lasting prosperity is built on solid principles like honesty, discipline, and trust in God. It's no use having the best investment strategies or the most rigorous expense control if your base of values isn't firm. Integrity builds bridges of trust that money cannot buy and opens doors that cunning alone would never open. It is this journey of character that sustains the financial journey. Remember, when you act with integrity, when your financial decisions are guided by honesty and obedience to biblical principles, you are building a foundation that will not be shaken. It's an impact that reflects not only in your bank balance but in your peace, your reputation, and your legacy. Joseph shows us that true wealth lies in an irreproachable character, and that obedience to God is the greatest investment we can make, because in the end, what you are is worth far more than what you have. If integrity is an essential value for you, comment below. Character is everything. Applying Joseph's principles to your personal finances is the path to a real transformation, a journey from scarcity to abundance, guided by obedience and divine wisdom. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because it's not enough to just know Joseph's story. The great impact lies in how you will integrate these revelations into your own life, into your daily decisions, and into your mindset about money. This is the hidden truth behind all prosperity. It begins with action. Joseph's story is a powerful reminder that no matter where you are today, whether in a season of abundance or facing a financial crisis, divine wisdom and obedience to principles can reverse any situation. He showed us that it's possible to flourish even in captivity, that provision can arise in the driest deserts. His life is a testament that faith isn't just for moments of prayer, but for guiding your financial choices, for giving you the forward vision needed to prosper. How about taking Joseph's lesson seriously and starting to apply these principles today? Don't wait for the ideal abundance to start saving. Start with what you have, where you are. The discipline of the small seed planted today can become the tree that will give you shade and fruit tomorrow. Start to plan your financial goals clearly, to save with purpose, and above all, to trust that God is the greatest administrator and can guide you every step of the way. Your story of prosperity isn't a fairy tale. It's a reality that can be built starting now, with intentional decisions and a mindset of faith. Think about the behind the scenes of your own financial life. How have you been handling excess? Have you been saving for tough times as Joseph did? And in times of crisis, do you have an emergency fund to give you peace of mind? The character Joseph demonstrated in all adverse situations also is an invitation for you to be righteous in your finances, paying your debts, honoring your commitments, and being honest in all your transactions. This is the base of lasting prosperity, which goes beyond money and reaches peace and a good reputation. This journey with Joseph has revealed to us that financial obedience isn't a burden, but an opportunity to see God's hand acting in every area of your life. It's about sowing with wisdom, reaping with gratitude, and managing with responsibility. Remember, with faith and planning, your financial life can be more prosperous than you imagine. It's a path of continuous learning, adjustments, and great trust. If this message touched your heart and ignited a spark of hope for your finances, write in the comments, "My journey to prosperity starts now." The journey with Joseph, with its revelations about prosperity and financial obedience, is just the beginning of a path of transformation that can deeply impact your life. We've seen how forward vision, the discipline to save, the importance of an emergency fund, and above all, integrity and trust in God were the pillars that sustained Joseph through great challenges. This hidden truth in the Bible is a gift for anyone seeking Christian financial education that truly works. If this message, if Joseph's story and the principles he lived by touched your heart, and if you felt that this content brought you clarity and inspiration, an important step for us is for you to show us that. If you've made it this far, if you've dedicated yourself to understanding these lessons of life and finances, then like this video. Your like is a small gesture that makes a huge difference, showing that we're on this journey together and that this type of content adds value to you. And if you want to keep receiving these revelations and diving into more biblical stories with practical applications for your financial life, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's your way of saying, I want more. This way, you ensure you won't miss any of our upcoming videos, where we'll explore other characters and uncover more secrets for your prosperity and financial obedience. To let us know that this conversation resonated with you and that you absorbed this message all the way to the end, leave a comment below. How about writing, "This message was for me," or "I'm with you until the end"? Your feedback helps us build a stronger community and understand what truly resonates with you, and the journey doesn't stop here. If you have this growth mindset and want to go even deeper into other aspects of biblical-based financial management, there's a video right here next to this one that perfectly complements this topic. Click on it and continue with me over there. Because your financial transformation is a continuous process of decisions and learning. I'll see you in the next video.